And over the next half hour here on India Today, we're getting you all the updates you need to know on what's playing out in Shivamogga after the stabbing and death of a Bajrang Dal activist. Nabila Jamal is joining us live from Bengaluru with all those updates. Nabila, good morning. Very worrying situation that's playing out in Karnataka after the hijab controversy. The focus now on what's playing out in Shivamogga.
Akshata, thank you. It's very upsetting that this situation has escalated to this point. We're looking at really tense scenes coming in from Shivamogga after a 26-year-old Bajrang Dal activist was hacked to death at 9 p.m. last night. In fact, we have Karnataka Minister K.S. Eshwarappa making some really brazen statements. Eshwarappa now coming out to say that all this was because of D.K. Shivakumar. This is a statement that he's made, and this is the news that we're currently tracking. Karnataka Minister Eshwarappa says that it were Muslim goons who killed this boy. He says it has never happened that in Shivamogga Muslims wagged their tail. But because of D.K. Shivakumar recently, who said that national flag was removed and saffron flag was hoisted, because of DK's provocative statement, it has given encouragement to encourage to Muslim goons. This gundagiri will not be tolerated. These are the exact words of K.S. Eshwarappa. Let's have a listen.
ನಿನ್ನೆ ಮುಸಲ್ಮಾನ್ ಗೂಂಡಾಗಳು ಕೊಲೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಶಿವಮೊಗ್ಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಂದೂ ಕೂಡ ಈ ಮುಸಲ್ಮಾನರ ಬಾಲ ಬಿಚ್ಚಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಆದರೆ ಮೊನ್ನೆ ಈ ಧ್ವಜದ ವಿಚಾರ ಬಂದಂಥ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಸರ್ಕಾರಿ ಶಾಲೆಯ ಮೈದಾನದಲ್ಲಿ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರಧ್ವಜವನ್ನು ಇಳಿಸಿ ಭಗವದ್ ಧ್ವಜವನ್ನು ಏರಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. 50 ಲಕ್ಷ ಶಾಲ್ಗಳನ್ನು, ಕೇಸರಿ ಶಾಲನ್ನು ಸೂರತ್ನಿಂದ ತಂದು ಹಂಚಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆ ಲಾರಿಗಳು ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತು. ಈ ರೀತಿ ಪ್ರಚೋದನಕಾರಿ ಹೇಳಿಕೆಯನ್ನು ಡಿ.ಕೆ. ಶಿವಕುಮಾರ್ ಏನು ಹೇಳಿಕೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟರೋ ಅದು ಈ ಮುಸಲ್ಮಾನ್ ಗೂಂಡಾಗಳಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ರೀತಿಯ ಕುಮ್ಮಕ್ಕೆ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದೆ. ನಾನು ಇಷ್ಟು ಮಾತ್ರ ಹೇಳಬಲ್ಲೆ, ಈ ರೀತಿ ಗೂಂಡಾಗಿರಿಯನ್ನು ಶಿವಮೊಗ್ಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೂ ನಾವು ಬಿಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದನ್ನು ದಮನ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ. ಯಾವ ಆ ಯುವಕನಿಗೆ ಆ ಕೊಲೆ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಅವ್ರ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇನು ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಗಳಿದೆ ಅದೆಲ್ಲವನ್ನೂ ಕೂಡ ನಾವೇ.
All right, I'm going to cut across to Nolan Pinto, who's on ground in Shivamogga. Nolan, you've been tracking those developments. You were there. You've been seeing the entire situation unfold, and it's scary. It's really worrisome that in Shivamogga now, schools and colleges have shut on a Monday, right at the start of this week, owing to this murder. Do take us through exactly what is Eshwarappa saying and what you see right behind you on ground.
Well, Nabila, I'm now in the premises of the Megan District Hospital. Now, last night when we came over here, in fact, we were surrounded by a large number of Bajrang Dal activists. The situation was extremely tense. Somehow we managed to escape. All right. So, as of now, let's tell you what's happening. As of now, the situation is peaceful in the city. That's point one. The district administration has brought in more reserve police personnel from various other districts. Rapid action force personnel are already deployed over here, especially in sensitive areas, because last night after the incident took place, there were a few incidents of stone pelting, a few bikes were burnt, and this was confirmed to us also by the
Nolan, I want to put you on hold for just a moment. Stay with us. I'm going to quickly cut across to Malvika Avinash, BJP spokesperson from Karnataka, joining us on the phone line. Malvika, a very tense situation that prevails in Shivamogga. A Bajrang Dal activist has been hacked to death, and K.S. Eshwarappa, your minister, says it's all because D.K. Shivakumar made a provocative statement, and that's why Muslims are wagging their tail in Shivamogga. How do you see this incident unfold as schools and colleges there are shut?
Nabila ji, we've all woken up to this unfortunate murder of this young man of Bajrang Dal. I think it's too early to call or for me to speak on who could have done it or who's behind it. The situation has been tense, as you are aware, over the last few days. There has been a lot of exchange of words, and indeed there has been some heated arguments also between the ruling party and the opposition. So be that as it may, we do not know really who's behind all of this. I think as the day unfolds, the Home Minister will have more to say on who could have been responsible for this unfortunate murder. And as of now, since Section 144 is imposed, the area is peaceful. And let's just pray for more peace. And I am more concerned about these girls who have to return to school. So That's how it stands for now. It's too early to really comment on who could be behind it. Yes.
Well, let's hope that the police gets to the bottom of that. But in the meanwhile, Malvika, I'm right now at Vidhan Sauda. We see that Congress MLAs are camping inside, staying inside the assembly, demanding for Eshwarappa's resignation over saffron flag comment that he made. Eshwarappa now saying that it was all DK Shivakumar creating this commotion and instigating people to try to kill this man. An outright attack at DK Shivakumar that he's made. How would you see that?
You see, it has been extremely undesirable, the developments within the assembly over the last few days, over a comment that was made by Eshwarappa. DK Shivakumar and his friends in the Congress are making it out to be, more than what it is. They could have taken this protest outside, not done it at the cost of the taxpayer, who's paying for all the sessions that go on in the assembly. So ideally, the assembly should have been allowed to function and the Congress could have protested whatever they required to protest in a democratic manner outside the assembly. And repeated requests from the chief minister, from the speaker has not yielded much. So I do hope that they allow the assembly to function at least today and thrash these issues out. If they do indeed have issues with the government, if they have something to ask of us, it's better they do it inside the assembly rather than stall it. About Eshwarappa's statement on the same, I think it's better he elaborates because I'm not aware of what the insinuations he's making.
Right. Right, Ms. Malvika, thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate your time. I'm going to quickly cut across to DK Shivakumar speaking to India today a little earlier, where he made an erroneous statement saying that a national flag was pulled down and a saffron flag was hoisted. This was a really brazen statement to make, considering the environment and the sensitivity of the situation. At that point, we saw the hijab row only escalating. He spoke to my colleague Shivarur. Here's what he had said.
Do you think this is a spontaneous protest that's taking place, or do you think someone is behind it? Who is instigating all this tension, sir?
My entire BJP friends are instigating this entire issue. They are just today, you see that in the entire Shivamogga, the national flag has been brought down. One saffron flag has been put in the place of a national flag. Firing has been going on. They are not able to control the institutions. Whatever the normalcy was there. So we have appealed to the Chief Minister. You just maintain the law and order problem. Give a holiday to all the colleges for a week. Let the things settle down. Peace has to be restored because our national flag, whatever is been there, that is the pride of our country's integrity. Lot of leaders have sacrificed for this national flag. We have they sacrificed their life and we have got freedom. And today, that national flag coming down and a saffron flag going high itself has created a very big sensation in the entire state.
All right, that was DK Shivakumar there making this really bizarre statement, because the fact was that that saffron flag on that particular pole was pulled down weeks before, the tricolour flag, I beg your pardon, was pulled down weeks before the saffron flag was hoisted. He's made a statement like that, which Eshwarappa now is using and quoting him, saying that this was a statement, this very irresponsible statement that DK made, which has now pushed some people to attack the Bajrang Dal activists. Let me cut across to Nolan on ground. Nolan, Eshwarappa quoting DK Shivakumar on the statement that he made on the saffron flag. He's saying that has resulted in these clashes in Shivamogga. But now on ground we see the repercussion of it. Schools and colleges have been closed. How long is this closure been ordered to? What's the situation on ground? Section 144 has been imposed. What more do we know?
Well, Nabila, Section 144 has been imposed till the 23rd, 9 p.m. Schools and colleges are shut only for today as of now. The Deputy Commissioner of Shivamogga, who spoke to us say about half an hour ago, said that keeping in mind the situation today, they will take a decision this evening after meeting all officials, both civil as well as police officials, whether or not schools and colleges will reopen tomorrow. But as of now, it is only closed for today, so we have to make this very certain. So those who are watching us, students, don't come to your school or college. Please be at home, be safe. On the ground, Nabila, the situation is calm as of now. There's still traffic on the road. Reserve police have been brought in from various other districts over here, and the rapid action force personnel have been deployed in sensitive parts of the city. People can go about with their work, but you cannot protest. These are the rules put in by the district administration. Now, the Home Minister also tells us that in this particular case, as talking about the investigation, they believe that 4 to 5 individuals could be involved in this. They have some clues, and mostly either today or tomorrow, arrests could be made.
We're really hoping that the police get to the bottom of it. Now, the reason behind this, of course, the police must establish. But in the meanwhile, we're seeing enough and more speculation coming in from politicians themselves. But Nolan, stay with us. This is a very unfortunate story that's unfolded in Shivamogga. As tensions prevail, it's gripped the district, which is already volatile. We've seen the hijab protests escalating to such an extent. And just last night, with this murder, we know that the situation on ground is only very, very sensitive at this moment. Tensions prevail as this 26-year-old Bajrang Dal worker was murdered amid this escalating hijab row. The victim's name is Harsha. He was murdered at around 9 p.m. on Sunday night. In fact, according to preliminary reports there, he was stabbed to death by unknown miscreants. He was admitted to the McGann Hospital in Shivamogga district, but succumbs to his injuries. Very unfortunate. An investigation has currently been ordered into this matter. The police are yet to ascertain who stabbed him, but like Nolan said, some clues that they've got, and they're trying to get to the bottom of it. Now, following this murder, a large angry mob, in fact, a bunch of angry protesters torched several vehicles in Sigehatti area of Shivamogga. We saw violence unfold late last night. After tensions, now we understand that schools and colleges have been ordered to be shut in Shivamogga. Section 144 has been imposed in the town and surrounding areas until February 23rd. In fact, we see Karnataka Home Minister has reacted as well. Karnataka Home Minister Araga Gyanendra, he's met with the family of the deceased Bajrang Dal activist in Shivamogga. He's assured that the culprits will be punished at the earliest. He said that 4 to 5 people could be involved in this murder. Let's take a listen.
Please tell us what happened last night, the incident.
Sir, ನಿನ್ನೆ ನೈಟು 9:15 ಅಷ್ಟೊತ್ತಿಗೆ ಕಾಮತ್ ಪೆಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಬಂಕ್ನ ಹತ್ತಿರದಲ್ಲಿ ನಡೆದಂತ ಘಟನೆ. ಇದು ಮೇನ್ ರೋಡಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗಿದೆ. 23 ವರ್ಷದ ಯುವಕ ನಡೆದು ಬರುವಂತಹ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆನ್ನಟ್ಟಿ ಅವನು ಓಡಿಸಾಡಿ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಬ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅನೇಕ ಇಂಜುರಿಗಳು ಅವನ ಮೈ ಮೇಲೆ ಆಗಿದೆ. ತುಂಬಾ ದುರದೃಷ್ಟಕರವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಇನ್ಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಇದು. ನಾನು ಅದನ್ನ ಕಂಡೆಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಒಂದು ಮೃಗೀಯವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಮಾನಸಿಕ ಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಇರುವಂತವರು ಇದನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು ಮನುಷ್ಯರು ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಖಂಡಿತವಾಗೂ ಇದನ್ನ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಸಾರ್ವಜನಿಕರು ಖಂಡಿಸಬೇಕು.
So what are the security measures put in place and what's the situation in Shivamogga city as of now?
ಸೊ ಈಗ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ನಲ್ಲಿದೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ಹಿರಿಯ ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ಅಧಿಕಾರಿಗಳು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ದಾವಣಗೆರೆಯಿಂದ ನಮ್ಮ ಐಜಿ ಇವರೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂಡ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಭಾಗವಹಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಪೊಲೀಸು ಸುಮಾರು ಅನೇಕ ಪ್ಲಟೂನ್ಗಳನ್ನ KSRP ಪ್ಲಾಟೂನ್ ಡ್ರಾ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಮತ್ತು ರ್ಯಾಪಿಡ್ ಆಕ್ಷನ್ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಕೂಡ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ತರಿಸಿದ್ದೀವಿ. DR ಮತ್ತು ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ಬಂದೋಬಸ್ತ್ನಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಮತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ DC ಅವರು ಮುಂಜಾಗ್ರತೆ ವಹಿಸಿ ಶಾಲಾ ಕಾಲೇಜುಗಳನ್ನು ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಜನಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಶಾಂತಿ ಕದಡದೇ ಇದ್ದಂಥ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ರೀತಿಯಿಂದ ಬಂದೋಬಸ್ತ್ ಮಾಡುವಂತ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿ.
My final question is there any link or connection to the ongoing hijab row?
ಇದುವರೆಗೆ ನನಗೆ ಹಾಗೆ ಅನಿಸ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದಕ್ಕೂ ಇದಕ್ಕೂ ಲಿಂಕ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಅನಿಸ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಇದು ಪ್ರತ್ಯೇಕ ಪ್ರಕರಣ. ಇನ್ನು ವಿಚಾರಣೆಯಿಂದ ಹೊರಗೆ ಬರಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ.
All right, India Today has been very closely tracking these developments coming from Karnataka. Nagarjun is right now at DK Shivakumar's house. Nagarjun, we saw that DK Shivakumar made this statement, which seems to be now the center point and something that Eshwarappa is quoting. DK Shivakumar has said a tricolour was pulled down, a saffron colour was hoisted instead. A very brazen statement to make, while the truth was something else. And now Eshwarappa saying that statement is what has provoked several people in Shivamogga to murder this Bajrang Dal activist. Have you gotten to speak to DK as yet?
Well, that is true. In fact, DK Shivakumar is at his house residence. I'm right here. I did speak to him this morning. He said that he spoke to his local MLAs, Bhadravati MLA, and took information. He learnt about this murder too through the media. He was sleeping in the assembly. Remember, they're all going through that Ahoratri Dharna protest, which is overnight protest in the assembly. And now what happened on February 8th has turned into a complete political slugfest, where Eshwarappa has now said that because of DK Shivakumar statements, quote unquote, the Muslim goons is what the minister termed them as. Because of DK Shivakumar's statements, they have been provoked, and the provocation has led to a Bajrang Dal activist murder at 9:30 in the night. We'll have to wait and watch about what DK Shivakumar will have to say. I'm sure he'll rebut whatever Mr. Eshwarappa has said. But however, Eshwarappa has used this as a political for a political mudslinging thing, because remember, Eshwarappa has always been attacking DK Shivakumar over the issue of national flag and saffron flag, and now he has directly attacked Mr. DK Shivakumar that because of his statements there is a murder that has happened and people are being provoked in Shivamogga city.
You know, Nagarjun, in fact, I'm standing right outside the Karnataka Assembly in Vidhan Soudha, and this is where all the Congress MLAs have been camping for the last 3 days. Nagarjun, give us a center focus of this showdown inside the Assembly. We understand the Congress now, their priority has been to ask for Eshwarappa's resignation for making that statement of hoisting the saffron flag. It seems like this entire showdown is over that one comment that Eshwarappa made of hoisting the saffron flag, which now Eshwarappa has blamed the entire commotion now on DK Shivakumar. 3 days on inside the Assembly. Nagarjun, you were following it. Give us a glimpse and insight into what the demand of the Congress party was.
Nabila, before I give you the information, let me give you the chronology of what exactly happened. 8th of February, where the incidents of violence happened in Shivamogga and a saffron flag was hoisted on an empty pole. We have the visuals. India Today has accessed the visuals. We also spoke to the SP where he said national flag was not brought down. It was an empty flag pole and then a saffron flag was hoisted. NSU, or the Congress Student Wing workers, go and hoist a national flag the next day. And February 9th, Mr. Eshwarappa tells the media that 100 years later, 200 years later, saffron flag might replace the national flag. We never know. But at this point of time, it is the national flag for BJP is what Mr. Eshwarappa says. 14th of Feb, the assembly starts. The Congress doesn't pick the issue. But 16th of Feb, they move an adjournment motion against Eshwarappa demanding his resignation. Immediately, the speaker on the same day rejects the adjournment motion on the floor of the House. And post that, on 17th, the Congress party takes a decision that they will camp in the assembly and sleep in the assembly. Both houses, council, the upper house and the lower house assembly also. Both the houses, the MLAs decide and MLCs decide to sleep overnight till they get a decision that the cabinet, the CM decides to drop Eshwarappa from the cabinet. But however, unfortunately for them, on Friday, the speaker also adjourns the house, and on Saturday and Sunday, the weekend, MLAs decide to continue their protest within the assembly campus and they sleep there. Today is the day 4 for them. They are still in the assembly premises. They have been sleeping. Around 40 to 60 MLAs have been sleeping, and this will continue. Most likely, assembly might be adjourned tomorrow itself, sine die. But the Congress is very adamant that till the time that Mr. Eshwarappa resigns, they will not back down. And today also the president of Congress party, Mr. DK Shivakumar, has issued a statewide protest in every taluk, in every district. Congress workers will protest against Minister Eshwarappa and demand his resignation, and they will submit a memorandum to either Tahsildar or the district collector. And this is the showdown that has been happening for the last 1 week. But however, this morning, Eshwarappa has directly attacked Mr. Shivakumar, saying it's because of your comments, people in my city have been provoked and hence the murder has taken place. And remember, Eshwarappa is also the MLA of Shivamogga city where the murder has taken place.
Absolutely. Nagarjun, Eshwarappa now a counter-attack and quite a blazing attack there at DK Shivakumar, saying it was all because of his comment that this murder has taken place. But on the contrary, you're looking at the Congress there, a massive showdown inside the assembly where it seems like their priority for stalling the assembly is Eshwarappa's resignation. They've left all real people issues in the back burner. The entire assembly has come to a standstill only because the Congress now demanding Eshwarappa's resignation because of the saffron flag comment that he's made. Eshwarappa now countering the same. Now, the saffron flag row has heated up to such a point where we're looking at the Congress MLAs and leaders there camping inside this premises here where I'm standing at Vidhan Sauda for the last 3 days. In fact, close to 80 odd Congress leaders have been sleeping inside, just only demanding Eshwarappa to be dropped from the cabinet at the earliest. Congress there launching a full throttle attack against Karnataka Minister Eshwarappa over his saffron flag comment. The Karnataka Congress protests there, as it continues, are demanding for resignation of Eshwarappa over his comment that someday saffron flag will replace the tricolour or replace the national flag. This is exactly what Eshwarappa had said post the hijab row and post the scenes where some of the right-wing activists had hoisted a saffron flag on a pole. Eshwarappa saying that someday the saffron flag will replace the tricolour. Congress now being very relentless in their attacks on the Karnataka minister, which includes a midnight stir as well in Karnataka Assembly by the Congress MLAs last week. Karnataka Congress President D.K. Shivakumar has urged all district and block Congress workers to hold protests near party headquarters of their constituencies, while the Congress has now called this an absolute insult to the national flag. BJP has called the Congress as mindless controversy makers out of only for political gain, saying that real people issues are not being discussed. In fact, BJP also targeting the Congress for not raising the hijab issue inside the assembly, but instead setting their priorities on Eshwarappa.
Congress will तकलीफ होता है 100%. It's a difficult to which part they want to go, hijab or kesari. They are in dilemma. There is a different of opinion in the Congress. That's why they are avoiding saying the Eshwarappa's issue. They are avoiding. The hidden agenda is hijab. So they want to avoid the hijab issue. That's why they are doing the dharna in Vidhan Sabha, Vidhan Parishad. BJP is also part of defaming the national flag. It is not only the Mr. Eshwarappa. When they have agreed and they are supporting him, they are also disrespecting. They doesn't know the constitution properly. They doesn't know how to respect the national flag, and they are not in a freedom struggle. It is the Congress party. Congress history is country history. So when Congress party has given this national flag, the constitution, the freedom, they are enjoying this.
मनुस्मृति का जमाना चला गया. आज अंबेडकर जी का संविधान का जमाना है. संविधान मानने वाला हम लोग है. वे लोग तुर्तुपस्ती लगा करके डेमोक्रेसी के ऊपर खिलाफ किए. कांग्रेस का लोग नैतिकता है ही नहीं. डेमोक्रेसी के नाम पर परिवारवाद चलने वाला पार्टी ऐसा कहता है.